Coming in, you guys, it's day number 107 of my 365-day Jimmy Ice Bath Challenge. I have been getting into an icy cold bath all year long here in my Morozco Forge. Makes all of its own ice. It's a big, beautiful tub by the Morozco Forge Company. A lot of people ask about this every single day that I get in here. So Morozco Forge is what it's called, you guys, and it makes big chunks of ice that keeps my body cold when I'm in there. So I'm about to get in there, and if you're brand new to this, I get in every single day for 5 minutes a day. Today the temperature, oh, it's hot today, you guys. It's very hot in there today. It's 33.2 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a little warmer than it typically is. Usually it's right around the freezing mark of 32 degrees Fahrenheit. But today, 33.2. Cold enough, let's just put it that way. And I've been getting in here every day. People are like, that's crazy. What are you doing this for? 107 days, like what the heck? And I'm doing it for a lot of reasons. And I've talked a lot about the reasons for me personally. I wanted to try something and try something hard. And don't mistake my comfortability in there when I get in. And after I relax and I'm able to talk, don't mistake that this is easy. This is still really hard. And so I try to get in here to show you that it is possible, that it's not crazy. I'm still getting all kind of weird feedback. I got a couple of ugly comments on YouTube just today from somebody that was just scolding me for getting into an ice bath and how dare I share this dangerous message. And I'm just like, bro, like, calm down. If you don't want to do an ice bath, you're not going to hurt Jimmy Moore's feelings. All I'm doing is sharing the information so that you can know what it's all about. And so thank you for everyone who's been along for the whole journey, whether you watch it live here on Instagram, which, by the way, 5 p.m. Eastern Time every single day over on Instagram at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVIN LOWCARBMAN. I've seen my following actually grow. So I know a lot of you guys are coming over from YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, and of course here on Instagram to watch these videos. So I appreciate your attendance here. All right, let me get into the tub. As always, I'll get in there for 5 minutes. The first minute and a half, 2 minutes, I will breathe to try to calm down my brain. Once that calm down happens, I'll talk to you for a few minutes. Today's topic: how do you hack your brain to want to do this? How do you convince your brain that this is okay? Because your brain's going to send you all kinds of signals to get out. So what do you do to hack that? What do you do to override your brain's system to tell you not to be in here? So I'm going to talk about that when I'm in the ice. Then when I get out of the 5 minutes of ice, I'm going to put on my jerseys, throw on my Crocs, and we'll go for a walk for about 20-30 minutes. So if you have any questions or you want to interact with me at that time, I would love to talk to you. So let me get into the ice bath, you guys. I'm going to set you down, get the situation all handled. Looks like we're pretty clear on camera there. 5 minutes are on the clock, you guys, and let's do this. Let's go. All right, you guys, I'm good now. So this topic I'm talking about today of how do you convince your brain to get into an ice bath on purpose? Because let's face it, this right here is an uncomfortable activity for anybody. I don't care how tough you are. You could be the toughest, strongest person in the world, and getting into this cold of water with this much ice in it, I'm sorry, it ain't a piece of cake. It ain't easy for anybody. So how do some people like myself, I'm not the only one, but there's others that get into an ice bath, and after a period of time, they're good. I'm sitting here talking to you very clearly. I saw the Liver King earlier posted a video of him and his wife inside of an ice bath, and he was making a comment that, you know, this is comfortable and I'm good. And then people in the comment section were saying things like, oh, that's impossible, you can't be talking that clearly, you're lying about being in there, that's not real ice. And I'm just thinking, oh man, that's somebody that does not understand adaptability to cold. So the hack comes in where you convince your brain that you're okay. And part of that is your breath work. So you guys see me when I first get in, I focus intently on the breath. I've already done a previous Jimmy Ice Bath video where I explained there's actually research that shows breathing, and breathing in a methodical way, either Wim Hof style or this continuous breathing like I do. It actually is a way to warm up your body. And I think what it does is it fools your brain into making yourself believe you're warm. Now you guys also know that have been following my ice bath videos all year, I get this thing called anticipatory thermogenesis, where I literally get a fever in anticipation of getting in here. Well, part of that fever response is this hacking my brain, because my brain knows consciously that I'm about to get into a tub full of ice at 5 o'clock every day. So around 4 o'clock, I start to get this feverish feeling where my eyes start to burn. You know what it feels like when you start getting a fever. Your eyes start to burn, you feel flushed, and I get all those feelings. And then I'm testing my temperature, and I'm actually recording a temperature. So you can hack your brain and convince yourself that you need to be warmer in order to tolerate the colder. How about that? All right, I'm about to go under before we're done here. Literally my favorite part. That sounds so weird because people are like, wait, you put your head under that water and it's 32 degrees? Yes. Doesn't that hurt? No. It's the opposite of hurt. If I could bottle up what that feels like for you guys and let you feel it, I would. All I gotta say is, if you're not dunking your head at least below cold water in your shower every day, you are missing a real treat. A real treat. Because it just does something. I have literally never taken any kind of supplement or drug or anything that gives me quite the rush that I get when I dunk my head below that icy cold water. Jenny says, I think you love yelling too. I love yelling because number one, whoop, yeah, going under that water, it's exhilarating. So I will always scream in celebration of that, Jenny. How can you not, right? But yes, those of you that came in late, I just got out of 33.2 degree Fahrenheit water, was in there for 5 minutes. And we talked about the mechanism about hacking your brain to be able to tolerate something like that, because consciously most people don't just go into an ice bath and go, oh, what a lovely experience. No, unless you're weird, unless you're really weird. Most people get into an ice bath and kind of go, oh, what the fuck? And it's not pleasant for them in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But you can convince yourself that you won't die. I guess that's the big thing. A lot of people get in and the freak out part of their brain kicks in and they don't know how to calm that down. Use your breath. Think, it's going to sound weird, but think warm thoughts. It really works. Thinking warm. And of course, you guys watch me when I'm in there. I'm also very hyper focused when I first get in, and I'm breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth as slowly as I can. Sometimes when you first get in, you do it a little faster, but do it slow and methodical, and then concentrate. And in that concentration period, you guys, I'm thinking, calm your brain, because literally the ice bath is not harming you. It's not. I know it feels like it. I know all that intensity of the cold can feel like you're actually physiologically being harmed. You are not for that short period of time. Now, if you're in there for 15 minutes, potentially you could, although Wim Hof has proven your brain can even hack it to go even longer. I think he's got like the world record, almost 2 hours in an ice bath. And he did that because his mind's like on a whole nother level with cold therapy. I don't think I could ever go that long. I do want to try 15 minutes here in the next couple months, because I've done 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, I did fine. You guys see me, I lift my fingers and hands out of the water towards the end, because I have noticed that if I'm going to get pain somewhere, that's where I get it, is in the extremities. Toes are usually pretty good. They used to get real numb and stay numb for a while. Right now, they're not numb, and I'm just out of the water just a couple minutes. And the hands are actually pretty good too, but I think doing that, lifting them out of the water for the last minute, they stay under the water for 4 minutes, so I think that's pretty good. The rest of my body does just fine. In fact, my body already, and doing all these walks afterwards, it's already hot. I can actually feel heat emanating from my body right now. And I haven't been walking very long, so it's not the walking. It's this post-ice bath body saying, okay, we did that. We'll warm you up real fast. We've done this 107 days in a row now. Right? So, pretty cool. All right, let's see who all's here. Thank you for joining me. Happy Easter, everyone. SG is here. Brush is here. D Mama's here. Connie, Bulletproof, Tammy, Dawn, Carnivore Runner, Jen, ABG. D says, nice job, brother. Thank you. Hey Di is here. Mary. Hope your Easter was great, says Jen. Yeah, I was invited for Easter dinner, but it was like an hour and 15 minutes ago that they started, and I'm like, well, I have my ice bath at 5. Thank you for the invite, but not this time. And the people inviting me, I know, but it was going to be at someone else's house, and that's kind of weird. It's like, all right, they invited them, but then these people invited me. I don't know. It just would have been weird. If I knew who the people were, then I might have been apt to join them, but I wouldn't have known anybody. So it was very nice they invited me, though. I was good. I've been chilling out today. Had a great walk and talk earlier today, if you guys missed it, this morning. Really fun mindset one that I hope you go back and watch if you missed it. Sleuth of Truth is here. RS, Keto Vision, Cadillac Lounge, Kelly, Bronson, Amy, Vicky, Carmel, Blafesh, Carnivora. What does the ice bath do, says Di. Yes, it does so many things. And by the way, that question is literally asked every single ice bath video that I do. And it would be impossible for me to repeat what I share, because I share every single ice bath video. I share some new nugget about cold therapy. But physically is what a lot of people focus on. Physically, it lowers inflammation levels. It lowers insulin levels. It lowers blood sugar levels. It boosts ketone levels, those of you that eat for ketosis. It lowers blood pressure. It creates so many metabolic changes in the body. Testosterone gets boosted in men. It boosts libido. I mean, it just does so many cool things physiologically. But as I have been stating in a lot of my videos, and plus it helps aid fat loss. As I've been saying in so many of the videos, that as much as the physical benefits might sound cool, to me, the best reason why you want to be doing an ice bath has nothing to do with the physical body. Has everything to do with your mind and how you embrace this mentally. I think you rewire your brain to start trying things that are harder. Whereas before you do an ice bath, before you're able to conquer this thing, you might be reticent about jumping into hard things. But getting into a 32 degree temperature ice bath, there is nothing that you feel like you're incapable of doing. That resilience, that mental strength, I don't know anything else that builds it quite like this. And I've always been a mentally strong guy as it is, but getting in an ice bath, I'm like, get out of my way, because I will accomplish anything I want. That's the beauty of it mentally. From a mood standpoint, it stabilizes your mood. It helps with your deep sleep, so you're able to sleep more restfully at night. There are just so many things. And actually, I've found studies that show that you actually get smarter when you start doing ice baths. The idiot jerkwads on YouTube making fun of this notwithstanding. So it's so many things. And for me, it's a great challenge for yourself. I know my friend Dr. Stephanie Rimka, she just did a video on YouTube about her 46 days in a row of doing cold showers. She did them on purpose. She said, I hate the cold, Jimmy, but I wanted to show people what it would be like to go 46 days in a row of doing a cold shower. And as much as she hates the cold, and she still hates the cold, she's like, I'm glad I did it. And she enumerated all the reasons why. So go look up her video if you haven't seen it yet. Heather's here. YV is here. Jules, Roger, Carol Ann, Della. Tons of kid fun. Bulletproof says, Jimmy on fire. Yes, that is my mindset. As you know, Bulletproof, that's my mental hack, is to imagine myself warm. And of course, I don't have to imagine it anymore, because the anticipatory thermogenesis literally makes me warm before I get into the cold. P. Mashes, Victoria, Miss Fish, Miss Santal, Marcel, Faith. Jen says, it's so exhilarating. It really is. It really is. I used to hate the cold, and especially cold water. I remember one time I did a trip to, Chile, South America. And many years ago now. This is like 30 years ago. And I was in Chile, South America, and they didn't have hot water. And they were like, just take a shower in the cold. And I was like, my very Americanized brain couldn't compute that. So I was like, And they didn't have hot water. And it just made me realize how many of the comforts of American life that we enjoy. And look, there's nothing wrong with it. We have been a very prosperous nation and be able to have the comforts. But I wonder how many of these comforts of life do we take for granted and actually harm ourselves with? If in South America they take cold showers and that's the norm, there is no hot water in places, how do they survive? Okay, maybe it's not comfortable for them, but then they adapt to that cold. And that adaptation to the cold, what kind of benefits do they get from that? Something worth pondering. How many of the so-called conveniences of life that we get to enjoy here in America, how many of them actually serve us well? Other than the convenience part, how many of them over the long haul do we get benefit from? And I think a lot about the very temperature-controlled environments inside buildings. Houses, office buildings, year-round. We try to get out of the elements as fast as possible to get into the cool during the summer and to get into the heat inside during the winter. And we never linger. We never linger in the cold, unless you're Jimmy Moore and you go outside in shorts and t-shirt in the winter. But most people, they don't. They try to stay in this very temperature climate control all year long. And we never actually allow our bodies to experience what our ancestors went through, where they had to adapt to the conditions. If it was hot, you let your body get hot. And you let those heat shock proteins get activated and all the things that happen when your body gets warmed up. And then during the winter, you allow your body to get cold and become adapted to that. Maybe that's why previous generations were stronger. And why our generation, the modern day society, is so weak. It's something to think about. Something to think about. Mike is here. Bean Page is here. Sherry, Gage Girl, Andrea, Bulletproof says, better question. What does the ice bath not do? Well, it does not make you feel comfortable. I can tell you that. In the midst of being in there, it does not make you comfortable. Now, I have learned to become comfortable in there, but it does not put you in a state of comfort. But I also don't want to fall into the trap, Bulletproof, of, well, ice bath cures all. And it's like, I've seen that with people talking about keto. I've seen that with people talking about supplements. I've seen it with people talking about fasting. So I never want to be one of those advocates for something that says, oh, this is the cure-all. It's a hack worth trying. It is an N=1 experiment waiting for you to try it. Not one time. Don't do one cold shower and go, Jimmy, that sucked and I'm gonna. Okay. You're one time. That's like somebody eating keto for one day and say, well, that didn't work. One day is not going to give you a full experience. If you want to get the full experience, do what Dr. Rimka did. She did 46 days in a row. That's a full experience. If you're able to go 30 plus days of doing cold showers, breathing your way through it, and you've seen no improvement from doing cold showers over 30 days, none, anything whatsoever, nothing, then yeah, please stop. But I would be shocked. I would be shocked if you saw no benefits from doing that. Because everybody I know that gives this a real go, everybody With a few exceptions, people have reactions. My friend Kelly, who's on here or was on here, she got into my Morosco Forge when she came and visited me a couple months ago, and she did not have a great reaction to the cold. While she was in it, she did great. She got out and she had a major shiver response, which is pretty typical for people not used to that cold. And then she had some pain response and some reaction, kind of a detox reaction. And that's going to happen. And for her, that meant daily is a no-go. She has to dose it out now. She has to work on those things that are causing the reaction. And so in that case, she modifies it. But that's okay. She still believes in cold therapy, just not as much as Jimmy does for himself. Getting Tiny is here. Carrie, self-love. JEC, Bulletproof says, do you ever go in the ice bath in the middle of the night between your sleep? That's a great question. And don't think I haven't thought about it, Bulletproof. So those of you that don't know, I have what's called biphasic sleep. So I go to bed around 7:30, 8 o'clock. I sleep for about 4 or 5 hours. I get up, it's the middle of the night, like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm up for a few hours, and then I go back to sleep for a second phase of sleep. So what Bulletproof is asking is, do I get into the ice bath in that in-between session when I'm awake? The answer is no, and one reason is it is so dark back there. I don't have a light, and in the middle of the night, it is so dark back there. Not that I'm scared of the dark. I could easily get into the ice bath. But I do like to look in the ice bath for sharp shards of ice. There was a big sheet of ice on the bottom today that I had to lift my feet above the little ridge. And then there was a big sheet underneath my butt. So my butt's still kind of numb from sitting on that. But no, I have not. But I have been tempted several times, Bulletproof, that when I've been awake, I'm like, I wonder if I should pop in there for like a minute. I don't have to do a long session, but do a minute. But I do a minute every once in a while when I'm kind of having a hectic day or if I'm kind of flustered. I have popped into there just randomly at different times of the day for 1 minute. And I'll get in there for 1 minute, get the exhilaration, and get out. So that's called micro-dosing cold therapy. I'm going to do a whole talk on one of my ice bath videos soon about the micro-dosing and what benefits it can offer you. But no, not yet. To answer your question, have not done it in the middle of the night. Maybe soon. Sherry says, thank you for being real with us that follow you. It's much appreciated. I made the decision when I came back from sabbatical 2 years ago that I no longer wanted to pretend to be anything but authentically who I am. And I went through a lot of changes during that 6 months that I was off from my work. Life changes, major life changes, dealing with my childhood trauma. There's a lot of stuff. And so mentally I was working on myself a lot, and I said, you know what? I don't want to be anything but 100% who Jimmy Moore is. So thank you. Thank you for noticing that. And I've lived up to that. And I lost a whole bunch of followers when I came back because they're like, whoa, we don't like this version of you. That's cool. I get it. You don't have to like me. Just respect that I'm 100% who I am now. What you see is what you get. My friends will tell you that the version of Jimmy you see online is exactly the same guy that they know as their friend. And I like it that way. Not everybody's that way. Some people put on a front and a face and they pretend to be something they're not. And look, they have their reasons for doing that. And it is what it is. But I can't control what other people do. All I can do is control what Jimmy does. Primal Chick is here. Becky's here. Bonnie. Trish. I go by Faye. Sheila. Impressiana. Salto, Katarina, Adnan. So yeah, you guys, thanks for being here today. Day number 107. Yes, 107 days in a row that I've gotten into a bloody ice bath. And I have enjoyed it immensely, to the point that I'm convinced this is something that needs a little more widespread acceptance. It needs to be understood a little better, because I'm still seeing lots of weird comments made about cold therapy. And so I'm going to give it the keto clarity, cholesterol clarity treatment, you guys, starting in May, which is just around the corner. I'm going to start working on a book all about cold therapy that I am tentatively calling Cold Therapy Clarity. And those of you that have read my other clarity books on keto and cholesterol, it will be very familiar to you, the format, where I take the concept of cold therapy. I don't like the phrase dumb it down, but make it easy to understand in layman's terms, and let people learn what it is. And I'm going to talk about all the forms of it, not just ice baths. Obviously, that's what I do. But I'll talk about cold showers. I'll talk about cryotherapy. I'll talk about cold exposure to the air outside here in the winter time, cold showers, and of course ice baths. So we'll get into all of that, talk about the pros and cons of each one. Obviously, I'll get into the science part of cold therapy, why you want to make yourself cold. I'm real excited to get into this. The way I write books is in my head. And so I'm already writing chapters in my head, coming up with fun ways to explain things. It won't be a boring book, let's put it that way. If you've read any of my books, you know I don't write boring books. So I am excited to get going on that. My goal is to get a good chunk of it written in the month of May, which means I'm taking off all of my podcasts for the whole month of May. And I'm not doing any walk and talks. The only thing I will definitely do every day is this ice bath video. So I may be silent all day, but I'll go on and do these ice bath videos for you guys all throughout the month of May until I come back from my work. But this will give me time to really hammer out that book. And I want it to be good. And I don't put out crap books. And so I'm going to make sure it reads well, it flows well. I'm going to get all of the experts that I can find on cold therapy. My dream is to get Wim Hof to be a contributor in some way, but I don't know how I'm going to get a hold of him, because number one, he's old enough that he probably has gatekeepers that do all of his social media, because I've tried reaching out and I've gotten no response. So we will see how that goes. But my goal is to get about 15 to 20 experts in cold. I've got a lot of friends that do varying kinds of cold therapy, and I'll get their personal stories to include in there. I'll talk about like a methodicalness about how you can do this and build your way up to where I am now with the ice baths. This didn't just happen overnight. There was a process, and I'll outline that process for you guys. So if you're a fan of keto clarity, cholesterol clarity, you're going to love cold therapy clarity. And again, my goal is to get it out by later this year. That is the goal. All right, guys, let me pop off of here for now here in day 107. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or even here on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram at Living Low Carb Man, LIVIN LOWCARBMAN. Once you are there, come join me. I go live on Instagram 5 p.m. Eastern time every single day. Tomorrow, you guys, I got a great interview lined up at 1 p.m. Eastern. Come back on Instagram Live, 1 p.m. Eastern for Bronson Dant. Bronson's a guy I met a few years back before the pandemic. And I was leading an event at that time, and he was going to be one of my speakers at the event. And then the world went upside down on us, and we didn't have the event. So he will be on my podcast to talk about a new book that he's written about fitness and ketogenic diet. So you won't want to miss that. And of course, I'll be back here at 5 o'clock tomorrow Eastern for my ice bath video for day 108. But thank you so much for watching today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll be back again real soon. Bye, guys.